The ocean here and the beach line is just like this. You literally have mountains and cliffs running straight into the ocean, and it's very beautiful. And so I want to kind of recreate that in my own kind of way here in Minecraft, with having the cliffs and mountains kind of run into the bay. I don't know when I'm ever going to get around to that, but it will happen. Hey everybody, AllGoofer here, up on episode 7 of the Let's Play series. Right now I am just in our little shopping district area, right by the blacksmith that we built last episode. If you didn't see that episode, go check it out. It was a fun little build here, and there were other stuff that I did as well. Last episode I brought up the idea, I don't know when I'm ever going to get around to that, but it will happen, of putting sea cliffs here all around the shore. So this kind of look is what I'm going for, with the cliffs and kind of different plateaus and stuff, and doing that throughout the terrain here. And I kind of just brought it up to tell you guys what my plans were for the rest of this. I didn't want to leave it like this. I just brought it up because I didn't really want to do that right now. It's a big project and I kind of hate terraforming. But besides terraforming, I've actually been grinding pretty hard on building up this town, and it would be nice to set that aside for a little while and take up a different kind of project, which is really going to draw in the sightline of the town from standing back here towards the ocean, which I think is going to be the town's strongest sightline. So I'm going to go ahead and start building up these cliffs and the rest of this terrain, and it's going to be a big one, so please like and subscribe because that does help me out a lot, and this is going to be a lot of work. So it's encouraging when people leave comments and like the video, and definitely subscribe. So to start up the episode, I'm going to have to go ahead and grab a bunch of these different materials that I'm going to need for the sea cliffs. I'm going to make them out of this same materials right here. So I'm just going to need a lot of stone, a lot of tuff, and a lot of andesite. And I believe I've got plenty of mossy cobble, so I should have the good to go with that one. But the rest of these materials, I'm going to have to grab a lot of them. I'm actually a lot worse off than I thought I was. So tuff, yeah, I'm completely out of tuff. Stone, I got 1 stack. And andesite, I've got nothing. And mossy cobble, actually I have a decent amount here, but I don't think that's going to be enough, so I'm also probably going to have to collect more of that as well. So heading down to my mine right now, I think that's where I'm going to go to try and collect as much of these materials as I can. Should be able to find all that stuff down there. Okay, and several hours later, I've got a pretty decent setup here. So I ran out of shulker boxes, so I'm using my ender chest. That's fine though. I ended up finding a few more mossy cobble that I scrounged up laying around my base. So I think I've got enough of that, but that might be something I need to re-up on, if anything. Here I've got a lot of grass, got a lot of dirt, gonna need that, probably gonna need more, but I have a ton more if I do. Got a ton of stone, got a ton of tuff, and got a decent amount of andesite here. And then I got my little workstation. So yeah, those materials in hand, I'm gonna go ahead and start mapping out where I want these cliffs. So I'm thinking about bringing them up to probably at least this height here. So we got these hills that kind of roll into the ocean, which I'm going to leave that. And then right about here, where we start to get more of a incline in the land, less steep than that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and make these sea cliffs right down to, you know, right about here. Okay, so that's the shape I've got so far. So I think what I'm going to do next with this is I don't want the cliffs all to be on the exact same level, right? this is going to be one big cliff here, but I don't want it to just be on the same level and then flat on top. So I'm going to go ahead and take it from this side, the same shape, and just slowly decrease it down a little bit. That way we don't have this just big straight cliff face. It's got a little bit of variation in there. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I think that looks decent. I know it kind of blends in a little bit, but as you can see, I raised the whole thing up a level here, and then it goes down, then it goes down, and then it goes down right there for that little bit. So for now, I think that's enough variation. Once I actually get this done and built up, I may end up changing some of that, but for now, I think it'll be fine. Okay, so I don't know how you guys usually do your terraforming and planning, and I'm not really sure how I usually do mine either, but I've decided, I guess, to work from the top down. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to be able to get these little overhangs. As you can see on my smaller cliffs, I got a little bit of an overhang over everything. And obviously those are on a pretty small scale, so those overhangs are pretty minuscule. But on this big scale cliff, I want to make sure I shape the top of it right, because I feel like that's going to be quite unliterally the foundations for the bottom. So that's what I think I'm going to continue working from the top down, and then I want to kind of incorporate a bit of a gradient in this. So I want to go a lot heavier with the tuff and mossy cobble on kind of the bottom half or bottom quarter, we'll see, and then it'll go into the stone and andesite for more of the top half, and then it'll go into the dirt at the very top. So that's kind of the plan for it there. I'm going to go ahead and just start chipping away at this. I'm going to go another layer in there now with the stone block, and I'll probably do the whole thing out of stone first, and then I'll come through and start texturing it with the tuff and mossy cobble. Alright, right back at it. And update time. So I've got most of the shape I think that I want here. Just filled in the empty gap from the top where I made the grass outline, and then obviously filled all the middle in with stone. Over here I'm working on kind of carving the cliff out of this mountain here, because this hill was rolling into where I'm building the cliffs, and I'm going to cut, I think, most all of this off. So I'm going to keep carving that out a little bit and then filling it in with stone. Then I'm going to come through and redo the whole beach here. So I want to definitely do sand all here along the beach. And then I'm going to come through, of course, with like stairs and walls and our texture blocks and stuff, and just make some of these edges look a little sharper, some of them a little duller. Okay, so I'm here on the far corner over here where I was going to be carving it all out, and so that is what I'm doing right now. It's kind of an interesting process here, because I'm not 100% sure even how low I want to go with this. I just want to make the transition a lot better, so all of this kind of stuff here is just going to have to go. So I think that's going to be the process I start, is just clear it all and then build over it. So maybe something like that. Let's get rid of some of this here, and then let's take our brick, or our stone, not brick, and let's just kind of make some of these, maybe get rid of that one, probably put like a stair on that one going that way. I should have just brought all those blocks with me. Let's bring this guy down here a little bit more. Maybe something like that. And just kind of really give some shape to these cliff faces. Maybe start them like that. Yeah. But I don't want to go way too overboard with it and have these kind of crazy looking overhangs. Like, this is pretty overhangy here. So some of this I might come through and fix up a little bit. And we'll just kind of see where it goes. But yeah, I think more of these kind of more solid walls down throughout the rest of this, with pretty minimal of this overhangy stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this. Alright guys, so I've got a little bit of work done here, still not really done with doing this side here, but over here, as you can see, I've got a lot of the texture in here, the stairs and the walls and slabs and stuff, and I think it's looking pretty nice. I think the next thing now that I want to go do is grab like a shulker box of sand, which means I have to go back to that desert that's really far away. Well, that's what I'm going to go do now. I'm going to go grab a shulker box of sand and then start filling all of this in, and kind of figuring out how I want to get this area raised up here. And I'm thinking over here where the land gets pretty steep, as you can see up here, where it's like 2 and 3 blocks of just straight wall. I think I'm going to go ahead and do these cliffs around this area right here as well. That way we can get some variation, right? We got these cliffs way up here like this. We got these big ones here down by the ocean or the shoreline. And then we got those few up here by the village. Wow, it sure does look good from this side. Okay guys, let's go get some sand. Before we do that though, I just now realized that my pickaxe and shovel are getting pretty low here. So I'm gonna go ahead and repair those, get a bunch more golden carrots, and then we'll go get sand. Ooh, our copper is looking really nice here. We're almost all oxidized. Yeah, that looks really good. Wow, I really like that. I almost kind of like these two in between, or this in between oxidation and then the fully oxidized. Actually, kind of like the look of that, but whatever. We'll let it fully oxidize. Well, that didn't heal my stuff up as much as I'd hoped. Alright, and I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of sandstone and I got a bunch of sand. So between those two things, I think I'll be good for quite a while. Now let's go decorate our sea cliffs. So I've got a bunch of the sand put in, and I think this is looking really cool. I really like the contrast of the sand and then these dark sea walls with the moss on them. I don't know, I think it looks great. But this isn't quite done yet. I think what I want to try and do is maybe smooth out this slope a little bit. And so I got a bunch of these sandstone slabs, and I'm thinking about kind of just randomly putting the variations in here and then giving this kind of a bit of a slope, a nicer slope rather than the full blocks, right? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then I'm gonna finish off doing this wall and putting the rest of the sand in. So I think our little cliff section here is looking really nice. I like the sandy beaches. I like how it meets the really rocky cliff and then up into the grass. I really like the look of that. I haven't gotten this portion here done yet, as I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I want to do the rest of this. And so I've been brainstorming, and I'm thinking. So this section right here, how this bit of land, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's kind of pretty steep. It gets steep right here. And I think I want to bring in then these same kind of cliffs starting up maybe at like that block all the way around here, maybe stopping right about here. That way we get another cliff face here, and it'll be another variation. However, I don't want that cliff face to just start there and then stop, you know, right there. I think I kind of want to bring that whole thing, that whole cliff, oops. I think I kind of want to bring that whole cliff down to kind of this level here, which means I'm going to have to dig out this whole thing, which isn't terrible. That my shovel digs faster than I can keep track of, so that shouldn't actually take that long to do. I think that that's the route that I want to head with it. And then this gapped area here in the middle could be somewhat of a pathway that gets down to the beach. So this will all be beach over here, this will all be beach, then this will be a gap between the cliffs, right? That cliff ends right there. This cliff is going to start up here. So we'll have this big gap in between that I'll try and form some sort of a pathway, I think, the raised land to get up there. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go ahead and start marking out this cliff here and then building it down, and then I guess I'll try to then carve the rest of this all out. I just don't know how much of this I actually want to carve out, because I might want to raise this beach, you know, up to like this level all the way there. So we'll kind of see. I don't have any like for sure plans. Just brainstorming. That's tends to be how I like to build. I have like a partial idea, but I just kind of wing it and see how it works out. I really like the way that this worked out though. I think this section right there looks really nice. So I think if we can just continue what we got going here and do it up here and get some cool cliff variations here, I think it could look really cool. Okay, so at this point I have just been really digging out this whole mountain here. And I've gotten pretty far. My shovel is not looking so good, so I'm gonna go repair it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at and what I'm thinking plan wise. So I think I do want to take all of this land down to about this level, all the way, like just about all of this. I'll have the cliffs be about this high over here. This land's going to gradually decrease so that the cliffs can be a little bigger in this section. I'm going to have a piece of land going up kind of as a pathway through between these two cliffs, and then I'm not really sure how else I'm going to fill that space in. We'll see what happens. And then yeah, I'll kind of clean this up and make it a nice sandy shore like I have here. But that is the plans as of right now. So I'm going to repair the shovel and then I'll get back to working on this. Alright, and an update to show you guys where I'm at. This is taking me so much longer than I thought it would. For some reason I thought this would be a quick little terraforming project. It has taken a long time, and it's not even close. This whole cliff wall I haven't even built yet. As you can see, I've just got the outline. I've carved all that inside out, but that's obviously not the wall. I'm going to build all over all that, pretty similar to this one. But this is what I got. I got a lot of sand mixed in here, which I really like. Definitely more sandy at the beach, and then it kind of breaks off into grass. But generally, I think this is a pretty good shape for what I want. Like I said, left this little part open so I can have like a pathway or something coming down here to the beach. This wall here still needs to be textured. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I've got all of this kind of cut out the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and finish this whole cliff face here, texture all that, and then I'll start building this one up. And check this out, guys. I think this is looking so cool. So coming down here, we're met with the first cliff wall here. I think it looks beautiful, very massive looking. And then this just leads down. Got the second one right here. And I think this just looks so cool. I really, really love the way that all this has turned out. And then up here, I just need to, I've already started kind of filling it in, but I need to fill all of this in with grass. Probably fix the land up here where this meets. And then I want to do some like rocks and stuff up here, so that it's not just cliffs to flat pretty much, but some like cool pointed rocks and stuff coming out of the cliff up top. I think will really make it look good from a distance. But speaking about from a distance, I think that's looking just, yeah, really nice. But this is getting really close. Okay, and I should have a bunch of bone meal so we can make some grass in one of these barrels. I think. Maybe I don't have any bone meal. Oh yeah, here we go. It's always the last one you're looking, right? That should be plenty. Alright, and now we're just gonna bone meal the crap out of everything. And there we have it. Now I think this is pretty darn close to done, at least for now. I don't 100% know what I want to do with this new land now that I have it. And what I mean by that is if I want to expand my town here out further and, you know, bring it right above these cliffs, or if I want to leave it back a little bit of ways and just leave all this natural and the way it is. So I'm kind of gonna have to, I guess, think on that a little bit. But putting all the bone meal in there, putting those rocks up there, I got one there, one over there, help break up the cliffs a little bit and help break up the sight line. And I think this is looking really cool. And right above this cliff here, I really want to build something big. I've got some different thoughts in my head, either a cathedral, kind of church. I think that would look really cool with this sight line, having, you know, a church right here with these big towers coming off of it, nice and grand looking. I think that would look amazing. Or my other thought was doing a little outpost right here, so kind of like a ruined old castle more looking thing. So those are what I'm debating on what I want to put here, either a church or a castle kind of a thing. Not like a full castle, but you know what I mean. So I'm thinking on that for there, and I'll probably end up building that first before deciding to move the village in more, if that's what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm just really unsure how I want to expand the village at this point. So that's just gonna be, I guess, something I gotta sit on and think about and then come up with a for sure decision. So for now, I think I'm gonna leave this as it is. So this has taken me a lot of time, a lot of work, and now the work all pays off as I get to put shaders on. Let's take a look.